Well, hot damn, fellow armchair Imagineers. Tiki here, and welcome to the Project 2 reviews for So You Want to Be an Imagineer, Season 16. That's right, I'm flying soloed this morning. Folks, I want to apologize for not being able to get written reviews out there, and also I hope that my microphone is working because I don't know. I just suffice to say there's been issues with that. That's why I'm a little late. So ooh, kind of worried about that. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and turn off my webcam so that I don't have to like awkwardly like lean into the microphone on camera. All right. How you guys doing tonight? Um Tonight. It's the morning, Tiki. It's the morning. Or if you're on the East Coast, it's like 1:30 a.m. 1:30 p.m. Get a grip, Tiki. Anyways, so Project 2, folks, Project 2 turned out really well, actually. Here's the thing. We're at a crossroads in the game right now. We're at a crossroads because we've lost space, we've lost Magic Feather. Basically, we're down to 7 or 6 people, depending on if the person who let me know yesterday that they might be dropping is actually going to drop. And you know what? I'm done stressing out about that. I'm done beating myself up about that. I'm done feeling sorry for myself about that. We're going to continue forward. We're going to have a good season no matter what, no matter how many people are actually playing. Even if it's a boutique season, even if we have like 4 people competing for the title by the time we get to Project 4, you know what I mean? We're going to see this through, guys. We're going to see this through no matter what. So, starting next round, as I already announced on the boards, we're going to be going to individual kind of like the yeah, I'm sorry, the bracket system, where basically we're going to be kind of keeping track of everyone's individual points as we go forward. Here's what I've decided. I've decided that everyone who played in the first 2 rounds on the teams, they're going to get 10 points to start out with. And for that reason, anyone who, like, look, I know this isn't likely, but anyone who wants to jump in late and who didn't contribute to the first 2 projects, or anyone who just wants to, contribute from time to time, they're welcome to just jump in at any point and present a project. But the 6 people, the 6 or 7 people that were participating in the first 2 rounds, they're going to get 10 points right off the bat just to make it fair, just so that they get a head start. I'm going to give them 5 points for competing in each of the 2 rounds, so that's 10 points. And we're just going to go from there. I'm going to lay that out more on the actual game, and I have to talk to Ace a little bit about it as well. So with that in mind, guys, I'm going to go ahead and start the screen share. Let's talk about the actual projects here really quick. Oh God, hold on. I have my microphone on the keyboard, and that's making it. Eh. All right, let's screen share. Let's go ahead and show this stuff off. All right, so Team China, you guys sure threw me through a damn loophole, huh? I mean, you know what? It's a Small World is a Disney IP. Like, when I said IP, I meant more, like based on, like, I don't know, something like Mulan or something like that. You know what I mean? But no, I can't argue with you guys. This is definitely a creative way to get around the loophole. I know that Team China in particular was struggling with this project because, let's face it, the Chinese government is not the most fair when it comes to representing other cultures. So this was a brilliant way to work around that. I mean, I really thought this was good. This was really good. Again, just the creativity of essentially what you guys got to do is you guys got to do Project 1 again, but for Project 2, which I kind of just have to laugh about. Now, just to kind of set it up for people who are just watching this offhand who might not be following the game, this project is basically you were set to design something in the style of the Grand Fiesta Tour and San Angel Inn at Epcot. So essentially, or probably more well known, Pirates of the Caribbean and Blue Bayou at Disneyland. So essentially, the goal was to create a boat ride that would also be connected to a dining experience. And honestly, I gotta say, guys, I think both teams did really well. And in my scores, only 2 points differentiate the two teams. So let's get into this. All right. So with Small World, one of the things I really appreciate here is how original it is. Like the fact that you guys were able to take something that's iconic and classic Disney, vintage Disney, and just do a new twist on it. I love this I love Compass the bird. That's a really like the fact that you guys were able to add an original character into the mix, I think fits really, really well. Um, I, I'm gonna say it right now. I think the biggest problem with I think the biggest problem I had with this project is the restaurant. And the reason why I say that is because I just didn't get a lot of detail on it. Like, here's the thing. When you said Um, a full buffet of global cuisine, all situated within the attraction walls. That got me really excited because I thought you guys were really gonna do something with that idea. I thought it would be like, like some sort of crazy setup where in each of the show scenes you'd have another buffet station overlooking the ride. And I don't know, for all I know, that might be what you're going for, but I don't know because you guys didn't really elaborate on it besides that description. You just kind of give a menu at the end and call it a day. So I was disappointed in that a little bit, especially because the premise of it sounded really cool. But of course, Small World is. I keep forgetting that Small World at Disney World is connected to a restaurant. That's so freaking weird to me. There's so many weird, like almost Mandela effect type things, like differentiating Disneyland and Disney World. Um, anyways, so just credit where credit's due. This concept art is damn amazing. I mean, holy crap. I'm assuming it's Planet Coaster. I'm assuming so. All right. Anyway, South Pacific transitioning as the first scene that was very inspired, and of course at Disneyland we don't have the South Pacific scene anymore, or we have a very, very, very condensed version of it. I swear to God, guys, when I went to Disney World and I saw the rainforest scene intact and not the awful bland America clip art Toy Story America room that we have in the Disneyland version. Look, I don't have a problem with the characters in the Disneyland version. I really don't. I don't even have a problem with the idea of an American section and Jesse and Woody in the America section. My problem is that the background stuff in that section is so bland. And someone pointed out long ago that it looks like clip art, and I'm like, yeah, it totally does. Anyways, I'm getting off on a tangent here. Okay, so overall, guys, I have to say, you did a very, very good job of taking Small World and plussing it, and I really love all the original ideas here. I understand why you didn't have concept art for the China scene, but I feel like if I were to choose between having concept art for China and having concept art for the South Pacific, China just sounds something that would be like really really spectacular to see realized visually. I'm very intrigued by the visual nature of this project. Anyways, I guess kind of rounding it out, this 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 I love it. I absolutely love it. It's just completely. This might be one of my new favorite pieces of concept art because it just absolutely illustrates what you guys are going for. I love how it's basically kind of like a bigger and more elaborate version of the facade, and the facade itself is incredible. So, the fact that you're able to take the Small World facade and just make it into this crazy scene, and I got to admit, I totally get where they're going with the wedding finale and I understand all the children of the world getting together. I've just never understood why it's for a wedding of all things. Like that's always felt very off to me. I like the final scene itself. I just think it's a little out of left field. So this just does such a great job. It's very Kingdom Hearts esque to me. Not that I'm saying it's like inspired by Kingdom Hearts or anything. I'm just saying like this very much looks like a Traverse Town or a Twilight Town, especially with that clock tower and everything. Um, yeah, so overall, guys, like I said, I hate to say it, but I really, really wish there was more detail for the World Plaza guys beyond the buffet. Oh man, I really wish, beyond the menu, I should say, I really wish that you guys just spent a little bit more time focusing on the actual, setting of the buffet, because as it stands now, I have no idea. Like, is it just a nicer restaurant overlooking that turn into the first scene? Is it just that? I don't know. Because like I said, you guys have it laid out that it's like the buffet is like kind of like overlooking the entire attraction. I need a little bit more detail on how exactly you're getting that done. All right, so in terms of the scores, let's get into it. For creativity, I gave you an 8 out of 10. I don't know. I honestly, I probably should. Well, I'm going to bump that up to a 9 out of 10 because really, Small World was an inspired choice to kind of get around the loophole of uh of the culture and the IP. So it was good. Um, let's see. Realism, I'm going to give you guys a 9 out of 10 for, just because everything just feels, it's just not really a lot to say with that. It's just everything feels very on point, very tied into what you could actually do. Let me see. Hold on. Oops. I'm also trying to figure out which tier this team technically falls under, because the small world thing kind of throws me through a loop a little bit. You know what? I think I'm going to have to go with tier 2 on this one. Create a dining experience and boat ride based on another country's culture using an IP. Because Small World's definitely an IP. So I'm gonna go tier 2 with that one. So you guys get one bonus point for that. So creativity 9 out of 10, realism 9 out of 10. Detail I had to go down to 7.5 out of 10 just because the restaurant really should have been a good, maybe not half of the project, but a solid quarter of the project at least. Um Guys, I have to address group work because I gotta say, I was very disappointed reading through the last few pages of the thread, and Snoopy did bounce in at the last minute with a menu, which was appreciated. But, Snoopy, I'm sorry, buddy, but a menu is a small cry from your, like, excellent flat rides that you would throw together. I know you can do better, Snoopy. I'm just saying that because I'm your friend. B, basically, it was just Space and Fire Mountain. Yeah, like, most of the other team members kinda just disappeared for most of the round. Like, that's what I saw. I saw Space and Fire Mountain. So, I have to give group work a 6 out of 10 just because, 3 not sure who else is I'm sorry, guys. I'm kind of, because I know that that team also had Magic Feather, and Magic Feather had to drop. So, so I think it was D Squared that unfortunately dropped the ball here, because I know they were waiting around for D Squared to post something and he never got around to it. So it happens to the best of us. Obviously, I've been in that position myself, but it's definitely one of those things where it's funny because Space and Fire Mountain were firing back and forth on all cylinders, and yet I feel like at the end of the day, Team Tokyo, they only got like 2 or 3 pages into their brainstorming. But weirdly, I feel like Team Tokyo's been efficient in terms of making sure that everyone has something to do on that team. So with that in mind, I'm gonna give the grand total with the bonus point, and then also I added a point for creativity. So I'm gonna go 41 out of 50 here. 41 out of 50, which is definitely a good effort. All right, so Team Tokyo. I got to admit, guys, I really don't have as much to say about this one. I I do like that it's an origin that you guys I guess it's not really an original character, but it's a Disney-fied character, let's say. You guys took kind of a cultural figure, a historic figure, and made him Disneyfied, which is interesting. I guess my main problem with this project is kind of twofold. I don't necessarily think I don't think the detail is quite here in some respects. Like, don't get me wrong, you guys explain everything. I just feel like there was a disconnect in terms of like the Imagineering side of things, like explaining how these effects happen. For example, there's a scene in this attraction where you're floating on the ice and then the ice starts to crack. Is that a physical effect? Is it a projection effect? Like, is there a flume in the middle of the ice? Is your boat like a water coaster and it's now on a track? Um, you know what I mean? Like, and I feel like that unfortunately kind of happens throughout the project. And for that reason, I hate to say it, but it makes the project feel just a little rushed. Hold on. I need to take a drink of tea because I've been talking nonstop for like the past 12 minutes. Um, Sorry about that. Anyways, that's what I get for not having a co-host. Anyways, oops. Um, Also, I feel like this project is basically freaking Maelstrom Plus. Yeah, which, I kind of like it skirts the line of being a non-IP. Like, I'm gonna say it's a non-IP. And so for this one in terms of the tier system, yeah, they do get all four they do get tier 4, which is 3 bonus points because they did create a dining experience and boat ride based on another country's culture and not using an IP. But I gotta say, guys, you're skirting the line there a little bit. It's kind of like, you're kind of skirting it where it's like, all right, all right, I understand. Oh, okay. I'm sorry, folks. Ace just sent me his scores as well, so I'm gonna read them too. All right. Now I just got really off track. I'm sorry. Anyways, Ace and I, I'm sorry, guys. I'm gonna have to kind of cut this short a little bit because I have to go at 11, and I want to make sure I have time to do everything. So I tell you what, Ace and I are definitely going to talk about these projects in more detail on the podcast, probably on Wednesday, hopefully on Wednesday, unless I get called into work again. We'll see what happens. Um, I'm just trying to think of any. Like I said, I don't have as much to say about this one. I just think it's unfortunate that I do think it's more character based than Maelstrom, and that's one good thing about it. It definitely has more character to it than Maelstrom does. But at the end of the day, it's a good attraction. It's a solid attraction. Like I said, I definitely feel like there's a disconnect to it in some of the effects. I feel like it could have been a little bit more detailed. And with that in mind, I'll get to my scores with creativity. Like I said, unfortunately, I have to give you guys a 7 out of 10 just because um outside of having the focus on the characters, it really is just kind of Maelstrom again. You got the polar bears, you got the trolls, it's like there's really not a ton different about it. Realism I gave an 8 out of 10 too. Everything seems pretty feasible and above board. Detail, I also gave an 8 out of 10. And here's the thing with detail, guys. I gave Team China a 7.5 out of 10. And detail, I got to give props to Team Tokyo for actually focusing a little bit more on the dining experience. Like, there wasn't a ton, but there was definitely more than Team China had. There was a good couple paragraphs at the end devoted to the layout and what the experience itself would be like. So yeah, I got to give them the edge there a little bit. Okay, presentation. Huh. Honestly, I feel like I'm being too harsh giving it a 7 out of 10. It was just kind of reference photos. Yeah, I think I'm just going to stick to 7 out of 10. And group work I also had to give a 7 out of 10 to because like I said, I feel like they had it's kind of tricky because Space and Fire Mountain by themselves did way more brainstorming than the 4 people in Team Tokyo put together, but everyone on Team Tokyo contributed an active role to the project, and I can't really say the same thing about Team China. So with that in mind, group work gets a point, 1 point above, 1 point above Team China. So with that in mind, folks, with the 3 bonus points for doing a tier 4 project, Team Tokyo is up to 40 out of 50, which means Team China wins by just 1 point. However, I shouldn't say that they win because I do have Ace's scores. So let's see. Oh, how very interesting. Okay. So I'm just gonna read Ace's I'm just gonna go off of I'm gonna copy and paste these onto the forum so you guys can see them. But I'm just gonna read the actual numbers here. So for Team Tokyo, he gave them an 8 out of 10 for creativity. He gave a 7 out of 10 for realism. He gave a 9 out of 10 for detail. He gave a 7 out of 10 for presentation and a 7 out of 10 for group work. Let me see. And that means with the subtotal, it's 38 out of 50 and bonus points. Well, he said +4 here, but it should be +3 because the first tier doesn't get you any bonus points. Okay, hold on, folks. I'm gonna have to do a little bit of math here. I'm terribly sorry. Bear with me here. Okay, Team Tokyo, they got 40 out of 50 from me. And then 41 out of 50. So Team Tokyo's grand total is 81 out of 100. Let me just make a note of that. Hold on. Okay, and then Ace's scores for Team China: creativity 8 out of 10, realism 8 out of 10, or I'm sorry, realism 9 out of 10, detail 8 out of 10, presentation 7 out of 10, uh group work 6 out of 10, which makes for a subtotal of 38 out of 50. And then with the 1 bonus point, they get 39. Oh boy. Do we have a tie? I swear to God, I think we have a tie. Let me see. So 38, 39, and then I gave them 39 plus. Sorry, folks, I'm bad at math. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Huh. Okay, I'm gonna post I'm gonna post all the scores on the main forum, so just correct me if I'm wrong here. And I'm gonna have to do the math later to correct it, but as it stands now, I'm pretty sure that okay, let's see. So Tokyo has 81 points. Think Tiki. 81. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Team China comes out to 80 points, which means that Tokyo wins by 1 point, which is actually kind of a very surprising turnaround for me, considering how much brainstorming Team Tokyo actually had. But there you go. There you go. Okay. You know what, folks? It's getting really close to my deadline. I really have to get going here. But thank you so much for watching. I'm going to go ahead and post the scores and along with Ace's written feedback in the main forum, in the main thread. And I'm also going to post Project 3 soon, which of course will be individual. All right, guys. Have a good day. See you later.